You ever get frustrated? Not me, ever. Just trying to load a kiln up. I'm stymied. Pallets are a lot like brushing your teeth. You don't have to brush your teeth, but if you don't, sooner or later, you're gonna wish you had. So you got different kinds of sticker stain. You got different kinds of stickers. You have different species of stickers. And you have different geometries of stickers. Yeah, exactly. Hey folks, welcome back. Robert Milton here coming at you. We have a problem. I can't run the sawmill anymore. I've run out of pallets again. I got a little carried away and I have stacked wood on every pallet I own, which is hard to believe. Plus I've destroyed a few. Those were my last three. I think I mentioned this the other day, that there's a lot more to running a sawmill business than running a sawmill, and this is part of it. So I got to get to making some pallets. For some of you guys, you may have seen this. For some of you that hadn't, it's fun because I get to use a nailer, and I like shooting nails. But real quick, all of our pallets are built in-house. I tried to get some pallets built by a pallet company, and the prices were completely outrageous. And as you guys know, as soon as the wood comes off the sawmill, it goes on a pallet. That way I don't have to keep handling it. When I'm out of pallets, I got to shut the sawmill off. So let's get to palletizing. I've made one or two of these before. I've made enough where I know that measuring is a waste of time. So despite the fact that I love my floor, I spray painted lines on it. I built a pallet years ago, took some spray paint and just spray painted where it went. And this way I can just put these skids down, or the runners, get some scrap wood from my pile of scrap wood, kiln dried of course. Piece of maple. I'll call out the species as I'm doing it. I typically like to put a little air gap between them if possible. Kind of overlap the ends. Here's a nice piece of mineralized rainbow poplar. Poplar does okay for a skid. It's gonna have to. People ask me, what do I do with the boards that have pith in them or that we don't sell? So they make great pallets. Which one should we use? The Milwaukee battery operated gun? It's pretty good. No, it's heavy and it's slow. It's good though. Doesn't need an air cord. Or will we get the pass load professional pallet gun with orange trigger that means it will shoot every time the head touches the wood. All right, let's get a few packs of nails. Put the nails in and let's build us a pallet real quick. I like to stand on it. Let's set a few. Get my hose right. Try not to shoot my foot. That was a lot of nails. We take our trusty miter saw. And let's do it again. I've found if I can do several. Man, pallets. A little more poplar. What do we got? This is a good one here. Piece of white oak. Perfect for pallet. An old nasty piece of pine. Ooh. Looky here. Piece of rock maple on the end. That'll be a good one. Let's put some nails in it. What do you say? Stand on it a little bit to stiffen it up. Kind of put a few in real quick. It sure is fun. It's got a little too much recoil. I'm gonna dial it down. Keep going. Are y'all bored yet? So you may be asking, why am I building these pallets other than it sure looks like a lot of fun? So the runner spacing is the sticker spacing. That way when you stack pallets of lumber on top of each other, the lumber gets loaded from the top, from the pack above, and helps keep everything straight. Whoop, I should rephrase that because you probably couldn't hear it. Helps keep everything, whoop, hang on a second, straight. Whoop, you probably didn't hear that one either. Let me try, straight, yeah. Helps keep everything, you heard it the first 3 times. The load gets transferred from the stickers to the runners, to the stickers to the runners, and you don't get what's called kinked wood. That didn't come out right. Well, either way, you don't want it. Sounds like a medical condition. Notice I'm not having to pull the trigger. And a lot of nail guns are like this. You push the tip down and you pull the trigger. This one, you pull the trigger, and every time the tip goes down, see, watch her go slow, it fires a nail. Real slow, slow motion. See that? I mean, this looks like a great big waste of time. And sometimes it feels like a great big waste of time. Pallets are a lot like brushing your teeth. You don't have to brush your teeth, but if you don't, sooner or later, you're gonna wish you had. So anyway, enough for the personal hygiene lesson. Let's put some boards on this one. We done. That didn't take very long. All right. So if I can get under it and lift it up in any way, shape, or form, which I just did. Woo, come on, stay together. Let me get another bite. There we go. It ain't pretty, but it worked. Ta-da! So we had a customer come in today, and he asked me, he's got a little sawmill. He says, does it really matter what kind of stickers I use? And I said, well, what do you think? He says, well, I seem to be getting the same results out of everything. I said, what's that? And he says, everything I'm using is sticker staining. So there's multiple types of stickers. I mean, stickers are the things you stick between the boards when you come off the sawmill. Here are 3 that I have used in the past. I have used others as well. This one is a sharp-edged H. You can see where the edges are machined and cleaned, and these top grooves are flat. This is an H sticker. except you'll notice that it's rounded. Some people prefer that. And then these are spiral fluted. These are the ones that I prefer. And these have a slightly round, and I've used these so much that they're wearing down a little bit. But all three of these can be used in different species of wood very successfully. Of course, you've always got the standard sticker, which is just a straight stick, you know, typically 1 inch wide, 3/4 inch thick. I don't use those at all. That's just accident waiting to happen. If you can avoid it, don't. They trap moisture, they will cause sticker stain. They're very difficult to use correctly. Not saying you can't in some species, but you know, for a company like us where we do dozens of species, they will sticker stain a lot of wood. And sticker staining wood is where moisture or temperature gets trapped between the stickers and the boards. And in the case of moisture, mold or fungus will form under the sticker into the wood. It causes a zebra stripe right where it's at. In the case of some softwoods, high sugar sapwoods, you will get what's called an enzyme stain, where the thermal difference between the wood covered by the sticker and not covered by the sticker causes an enzyme reaction, and you will get a gray stain under the sticker. Extremely difficult to plane out. A lot of times it gets deeper the more you plane. On the other hand, sticker stain in oak is typically a mold stain, and that only goes a few fibers deep, so it's actually pretty easy to remove. So you got different kinds of sticker stain, you got different kinds of stickers, you have different species of stickers, and you have different geometries of stickers. The flat tops on the H's do trap a little moisture and will cause sticker stain in some species. The rounded top on some stickers, they don't trap as much moisture, but they will cause the fibers to fail or compress directly over the rounded point, because you know it's got a round bearing surface and it's going to pick a point load instead of a distributed load across the flat. It crushes fiber sometimes. So if you're using, say, pine, and you use a sticker that's got a rounded H or rounded bevel of some kind, and you stack that pine very high, you will literally crush the fibers under the sticker. You can try to plane that out, but sometimes when you do, it disappears, but some of the fibers are still there. You put a stain or finish on it and it'll just bring it out. And then these spiral fluted stickers, actually, I like these mostly, but they will also crush fibers. So you can't, if you're using spiral stickers on softwood like poplars, you can't stack very high or you will crush the fibers. Spiral ones are designed to get airflow under the spirals. Airflow is very important. The H stickers are designed to get airflow as well. But by and large, the goal is to not sticker stain your wood. And whether you use these H stickers with the flat tops, the H stickers with the rounded tops, or the spiral fluted stickers, any of these work much better than a standard flat sticker. And of course, there's a lot more to it than just the sticker. Maple and poplar, you should kind of try to plan your sawing in the cooler months. Winter would be best because some of the enzyme stain is caused from heat, as I already mentioned. So typically, if you want to guarantee no sticker stain on maple, poplar, basswood, a few of them, saw them in the wintertime, stack them up, and then they will air dry very quickly. As a matter of fact, some big mills around here, because we are in the south, high temperatures, high humidities in the summer, they will literally not saw up maple in the middle of summer because they know it's going to sticker stain and it's just wasted wood. So you do try, so in a lot of cases I try to do my sawing based on season if I have no other reason to ram it through the sawmill. If I have a lot of poplar, then I'm not just going to grab a poplar log and saw it in July, because there's a high likelihood of that sticker staining. Oak, no problem. Walnut, yeah, no problem. As a matter of fact, I'll be doing some of that here shortly. So sticker stain can be managed. It can be managed through the stickers. It can be managed through when you saw the logs. It can be managed by the temperature, basically, the airflow, and a lot of other things. So probably more than you wanted to know about stickers, but I figured you guys are wanting to know a little bit more about our day-to-day operations, and stickers are extremely important. You should consider them when you're sawing and drying. Anyway, we got to get back to work. I noticed I was having a little drainage issue. The easiest way I've found to unclog a kiln drain line is take some weed eater string, just run it up there, kind of wiggle it around, and if there's an obstruction, you'll feel it. There you go. See that water coming out right there? Perfect. You see it dripping now? I knew there was a blockage. You hate it when there's a blockage. So that got it. The reason there was a blockage was because I've been drying eastern red cedar, and that puts out a lot of oil in a kiln. I mean, cedar's got a lot of oil in it, so that should do it. There we go. Look at the water coming out. So what happens is the oil kind of crystallizes. It precipitates out when it gets hot enough, turns into a vapor, and then when it starts to cool, as it leaves the kiln environment, it condenses. And it condenses as a slimy, like my hands just got slimy, goo. And if you dry, at least it's been my experience, if you dry several loads in a row, the drain tube starts to get clogged up. And I had noticed that. Considering that the best way, or one of the best ways, the most reliable way to gauge how much moisture is coming out of a kiln is to put a 5-gallon bucket under the condensate line. And as a rule, from what I have found, at least in my neck of the woods, I put that in there so the water drains out of the tube down the stick into the bucket. So what I found out is that, at least with the hardwoods I draw, if I exceed 5 gallons a day per 1,000 board foot of water, I don't need a moisture meter to tell me that I'm drying too fast, because I'm drying too fast. I like to stay in the 3 to 4 gallons per 1,000 board foot range, and the easiest way to tell that is use a bucket. All right, so we got that working. Fix your kiln with a weed eater string. That's almost as handy as aligning your sawmill with a couple of tubes of grease. And I noticed we're going to do a little bit of work with our weight pack. Somehow or another, I must have been a little rough with it, and the runners fell. And that's not what you want. I'm also looking at that stack of wood right there, and it's kind of didn't quite do a good job getting it down here. So I need to bump it a few times with a forklift and get it straight. All this is just part of getting it done, I guess. give it a few love taps. There you go. So that's not something we want to do. How come I always get the same glove? Dang. All right, settle down. Yeah, this ain't heavy. Oh, come on now. Is there an easier way to do this? Yeah, there is. I'm not doing it like this. I got stuff to saw and this is taking way too long. All right. Let's go to plan H, as in hydraulic. Sometimes you just gotta work smarter and not harder. This is one of those times. Let's fire it up. Activate the thumb. Yes, I do have an air ride seat in an excavator. You better believe I do. I'm gonna take this one Michael Jackson glove off here because I couldn't find the other half. Jeepers. Alrighty, how about we put this in a little higher gear? You ever get frustrated? Not me, ever. Just trying to load a kiln up. I'm stymied. Those are heavy hunks of concrete, by the way. I like putting around 3,500 pounds per pallet. Certainly over a period of time. The pallet cannot take that kind of abuse. One of these days, I always say, oh, I'm gonna make a metal one. I'm gonna weld one up or buy one or something, but you know, kind of like this, I just never get around to it. I'm always too busy. Let's see if this even works. Probably won't. Not sure which one to grab first. Thinking about using a thumb. They look like they're real easy to use, but the reality is you've got to be the correct distance away for them to grab without just crunching everything. So, because you want them to come down. You want them to come down and grab nice and even. About like that. Ooh, look at that. Put him right there. I'll slide it maybe when I get the next one. This one's gonna fall apart. And if you ask me if I care at this moment, the odds are I'm gonna say I don't. I'm going to get the whole thing without, ooh, look at that. Sweet. Got it. Alrighty. Let's see if we can get that one way out there. Put it. Well, that didn't work, did it? Probably would help if I put this pallet on the ground. It doesn't matter. I got it. I'm gonna put Put that guy right there. Can I just slide that guy on there? I think I can. And I hope I don't hurt that other pallet. I hope I don't hurt this old pallet. It's as good as new. Glad ain't no nails falling out of it. Gotta get this. You need a lot of weight if you're going to try to counteract the stresses in the boards as they're drying. In case you're wondering, yes, this is steel reinforced concrete. So I'm really particular about getting hit with this reinforcement bar or rebar. That's all I need is a good dose of lockjaw. Then my YouTube filming career would be over, wouldn't it? We're gonna take this hard tire forklift out in the field through the clover and probably get it stuck because I don't have enough frustrations today. But, you know, the key to taking a hard tire forklift off-road is you gotta go fast. You're gonna go through a hole, you better go through the hole, like right here. Oh, let's go. Yeehaw! But you don't want to actually break anything because there's no suspension. I've seen radiators come out of hard tire forklifts. All right, so far so good. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We got it. A little spinning action. All right, this is our metal hole. We burn stuff like this, and I've got this great big magnet, and I pull all the metal out, and we recycle it. No reason to waste money. By the same token, you can spend days picking through metal and trying to recycle it, or you build a fire and combustion physics does it for you. Then when you get enough, you pull it out with the old excavator, and next thing you know, you're saving the environment by recycling. Uh-oh. We're not doing it. Come on. So the other thing is when you about get stuck, you don't. So the other thing is when you about get stuck, you got to feel it. You stop, don't dig a hole, and then change direction and go downhill. This forklift is heavy. I don't know what it weighs, 10,000 pounds. Gravity is a big help. So I can feel I am just about to get stuck. I ain't gonna get stuck. I'm too good for that. Right. I'm gonna put it forward. I'm gonna be gentle, and I'm gonna just rip on out of here. And there we go. Oh, got it. Okay. That was almost too easy. I guess I could make it more drama filled and actually act like I get stuck like maybe some other videos do or the TV channels do. But have you ever seen that? People get stuck and go into a long thing about how they're going to get out, and you go, get stuck. My daughter's play school tricycle could get out of that. That's just for drama. And did I mention it's starting to get hot out here? Summer's showing up. I'm in my long pants because I'm having to buck some logs. I don't like getting sawdust down in my boots. I said buck some logs. Don't let my southern accent fool you. Now we got to get in there, because normally I'll put the weight packs on top of the slabs before I load it, but because this one fell apart, I'm going to have to inch it in there. And oddly enough, forklifts actually do have what's called an inching pedal. Bet you didn't know that, did you? You look it up in the Caterpillar manual, it actually has inching pedal. Now, you've heard me say it numerous times, if you're going to make properly flat wood, 80% of it is the technique that you're using to saw it. 80% of the technique of flat wood is kiln drying techniques, and the other 80% is the technique you use for secondary processing. So basically the point is you can screw it up at any point. By the same token, some of these techniques I'm showing you, I mean, I didn't invent putting weight on pallets on lumber, but I use it. It's a constant load and it continues to flatten throughout the entire process. And yes, if we do get some boards that'll have some cup and this and that, because they're just, especially live edge, because they're just sawing. You try to saw them as good as you can, but there's going to be some that just don't like it. But for the vast majority of crooked or board or bowed boards, weight packs make a huge difference. All right, so we got it in here. We got the kiln drain unplugged. We got the packs in. Now we got to fill up the wet bulb so we can actually get a moisture reading. Too slow. Even on filling up the water, I'm impatient. That's more like it. Whoa, do not spray me. Ooh, that would have been good. Why do I have water that I'm going to put in my kiln? And that's a valid question. But the real answer is the kilns operate on wet bulb and dry bulb, which is really fancy. It's kind of like relative humidity. Measure the difference between the evaporative cooling in the kiln and which is called wet bulb, and the non-evaporative cooling. So it's a measure of the moisture in the air. So this is pretty high tech. So the difference between dry bulb and wet bulb is you have two thermometers. In this case, they're RTDs, and one's dry and one's wet. And the way you get it wet is you fill up this container with water. The moisture flows up. This is called a wick, and flows up the wick. The wick is wet. When the airflow blows over the wick, it causes evaporative cooling. And the amount of cooling is based on the humidity of the air. So basically, if you want to build one of these for your homemade kiln, you take two thermometers, thermocouples, RTDs, whatever you want to use, and you take a bottle from an automotive windshield washer fluid or a radiator overflow bottle. That's what they use. I have also got a cola can or Coke can in the other kiln. You take a cotton shoestring. They say it needs to be muslin, but it just needs to be something that transfers water. So a cotton shoestring, cut the end off, and just simply put it over the probe. As long as you got airflow, the evaporative cooling from a dry probe versus one that has moisture in it will be different. That difference is called wet bulb, dry bulb, and is an indication of the relative humidity in the kiln and really the level of moisture that's in the air. So anytime somebody tries to confuse you about kiln operations and, oh, it's so difficult, you gotta measure the wet bulb, you gotta measure the dry bulb, you gotta buy this high dollar rig to do it. Yeah, you can. Or you can go down to your local Walmart and buy dual probe barbecue grill measuring things for the guys who measure pork and barbecue and ribs in their grill. You probably got one. Instead of having one probe, it's got 2 temperature probes. If it's RF or Bluetooth, it's even better, so you don't have to wire it in. Install both into the kiln. In the airflow, I like the corners, but still got to get some airflow, and put a wet shoestring over one and leave the other one dry, and that will be your wet bulb and dry bulb. And yes, it's that easy. And actually what you can see already, look, the dry bulb is at 84 degrees, the wet bulb is at 76. Dry bulb's always going to be higher. It's called wet bulb depression for a reason. And right now, I mean, it's not like it's feeling bad and it needs some Xanax. No, right now the dry bulb's at 84, just call it 85. The wet bulb's at 77. Very important to get a good seal on a kiln. With the vents closed, you should have to really push it. That's a really easy way to diagnose air leaks in a kiln. If you can just swing the doors closed, you got air leak. If you try to swing the doors closed and it gets tougher and tougher and tougher, that means the air that's in the kiln that the doors are displacing has to come out. It's got to come out through the doors, and it's going to fight you. And that's the quickest way to see if your kiln is properly airtight, or at least mostly airtight with the vents closed. All right, might as well move this sassafras out of the way. Put it down here. Now, I know some of you guys watched a video where I said I did not like this place, this drying area, and that is a fact. So I've since gotten, it has to do with the airflow and the stagnation. I've since gotten back in where the excavator opened it up some, and now it is a very good place to dry certain hardwoods. Ones that don't really have a tendency to stick or stain, but do need to be dried fairly slowly. You can't do this with a piece of farm equipment. You can do it with a forklift. I mean, look how close I am right there. I'm literally top of the cage, inch, half inch. Side shift. Put her down. Yeah. Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed some of this. As I said, what I was going to start doing on my last video, I'm going to put a lot more of our day-to-day operations in, because we are a real sawmill and lumber yard, and this is what it takes to do it. Now, it's not quite as fun as running a sawmill, but arguably it's as productive, and it's real life, and we're all about real life. So I'm going to get real life Chip over there, who for some reason just decided to wake up, and we're going to get on to the next thing. But either way, hope I didn't bore you to tears. If I did, just start using my videos as a sleep aid. We'll see y'all later, and y'all have a good one. Let me get Chip over here. Man, that's the fastest I've seen Chip move in a long time. He's heading for the kitchen. So am I. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. Click on the links above to see more of our videos.